Hello, YouTubers. My name is Brian. I wanted to take a quick minute here to give a short introduction of myself and what I plan on doing with this channel. I don't actually expect to have many followers for any time in the near future, but I did want to get something started, principally for the reason that my wife and I will be doing a total consecration here, which I'll talk about in just a second. But I did first want to introduce myself. Um, I'm a convert to the Catholic faith. I came into the Catholic faith principally through my reading of Thomas Aquinas. This would have been about 10 years ago. After that, about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point, I discovered a video of a Dr. Jared Goff discussing Franciscan theology, and I was quite affected by that. And within the last year or so, I've really done a deep dive into the golden thread of Franciscan history and spirituality. And I wanted to, as I'm surveying the panorama of Catholic material that's available, especially on YouTube, especially through these sort of video content. There's a lot of Aquinas, thank God. There's a lot of really good apologetics out there, a lot of really phenomenal people doing phenomenal work that's really going to probably be much better than anything that I'll be able to present. But at the same time, I do see a lack in the availability of some of the wonderful material that's out there on the Franciscan spirituality. So I wanted to dedicate a channel towards that. From Bonaventure to Blessed John Duns Scotus through the entire late Middle Ages into the early Renaissance, Baroque period, all the way up into the 20th century with some people like, for example, St. Maximilian Kolbe, and one who's had recently a profound effect on me, Father Peter Fellner. And I'm reading at the moment Fellner's Theologian of Auschwitz, which is specifically of the Maximilian Kolbe, the Kolbean thread of theology as he read back into Bonaventure and Blessed John Duns Scotus, and comes up with, I think, is a very sound and quite profound theology and an approach to theology too. So I want to dedicate this channel specifically to that. With that said, you probably won't see me for another year or so. It's March 2022 right now. I'm still doing studying. My wife and I are actually on the process of moving. We'll be moving in the year 2023. So I'm going to take this year to dedicate myself more. I've been studying for the last year, but I want to dedicate my time more because there's just so much to absorb. When I dove into Aquinas 10 years ago, I really thought, oh, well, this is scholastic theology. It's just so easy. Anybody can do it. And for anybody that's ever took a quick introductory work into Blessed John Duns Scotus, you realize Scotus is not Aquinas. And it takes more work to absorb Franciscan theology, specifically through the lens of Scotistic theology. So I'm working my way through that. I'm coming more and more comfortable through it as the months go by, but I'm going to give this year myself the time through this year to take in some more of that theology so that I come to this with what I think would be higher quality content. That said, also in the next several days, we will be doing the total consecration. So I figured why not actually just begin with the documentation of that. And we're going to be reading from the booklet provided by the Militia Immaculata. My wife and I, she'll be joining me for the next video starting tomorrow. We're going to go through the readings and she and I will just do a quick discussion. I figured, if it helps us or if it helps maybe somebody down the road who considers doing the total consecration to Mary, I really want to begin this channel. While I do appreciate the academic proper theology mode of dealing with theology, I want to begin this with the more emphasis on the contemplative and the mode of Franciscan theology. So I want to, this is the first I'll be doing the total consecration. I've never done a total consecration to Mary before, neither the De Montfort or the Maximilian or any other that might be available out there. My wife has done the De Montfort, but I really have gotten that deep into the Franciscan theology that I want to make this dedication and this consecration to the Immaculate Heart for the Sacred Heart. And I'm hoping it might be some use to some people down the road. So that's why I'm making this start. And we'll be doing a series of videos up until the Annunciation. So you'll see me back here tomorrow. And then after this total consecration, there's going to be a big gap. I'm hoping to be a little bit more involved in some of the material that's out there on YouTube. So you might see this channel pop up. But besides that, you won't see any content. You might see my channel pop up in comments, for example, is what I'm saying. Besides that, you won't really see me on here until probably the summer of 2023, after we've moved and after I've given myself this time to really take in and absorb all of the material that I've got. I've got a stack of books over here, and I've got a stack of things that I'm going through as far as notes. Specifically, I recommend anybody, if you are interested in this Franciscan theology, really take the time to go through the work of Father Peter Fellner, and then maybe work your way backwards. But there's a lot of good material that's available out there. It's just you might have to do a little bit more research than you would for the accessibility of somebody like Thomas. He's so accessible in the church. There's just so much material out there that's provided. Even just through the YouTube content. But the material for the Franciscan School is available too, and I'm hoping that this channel will be yet another source of availability for people interested in this, our golden thread of Franciscan history. So I will see you guys soon.